Hey guys, Reese from PLP here. We thought we'd do a bit of an intro series. Now there's 6 of us, and do a bit of a what's in the bag. We're going to start with our fearless leader, Mitty Dunbar, our resident pro. Mitchy, take us through the bag. What's in it? Let's start at the bottom end, mate.
Easy, mate. So starting with my putter, this is my old faithful for the last probably 2 and a bit years. We've got the Odyssey number 11. I've got the line on top, just needing that little bit of alignment help for when I'm putting. And just a Super Stroke pistol grip on there. So that's been a pretty well a staple of my bag for the last 2 years, chopping and changing all the time. If you know me, I'm a bit of a tinkerer with my putters, but this one always seems to make its way back into the bag.
Now, has that grip always remained the same for you, regardless of the putter?
No.
Grips
So
as well?
I've got a few different styles of putter, but I do prefer the pistol in a Super Stroke. But like I've got a couple of putters with more of a traditional style.
Yep.
And then I've got one which is a smidgen bigger than this, but this is kind of where I'm always at. I like this one.
This is the old faithful. This is the comeback to.
Correct.
Talk us through your wedges, mate, because your wedge game is impeccable.
Yeah.
What are you hitting?
So I've got the Callaway Jaws Raw at the moment. So I run a 60, a 56 and a 52. The bounces I keep very similar in my 52 and my 56. So they're a 10 bounce, so mid bounce. And then I opted for the 8 bounce in the 60. Excuse the dirt, I haven't had a chance to clean them up, but with my grind, it's a Z grind. I really like this grind because it does have that heel toe relief. So for someone like myself, I do like to open and close the face of the wedge when I'm around the green.
I was going to ask you that. So for the uninitiated, the bounce is probably what you should be using. That should be the only part of the club interacting with the turf.
Fairly
and it
well.
is very individual. That's why you should get fitted for your wedges, correct?
Absolutely, mate. It's a massive part of chipping and being able to actually use the bounce. Bounce is our friend, so for people who don't have a lot of bounce in their wedges, when you do get somewhere that's a little bit thick and soft, more often than not, you're probably going to get a little bit steep and you might dig a little bit.
Yeah, been there before.
And vice versa, if you have too much bounce on tight lies, if you go down to Melbourne or someone like that, you're probably going to start clunking them a bit and thinning them. So yeah, in my 56 and 60, they're the Jaws Raw. I did actually place an order yesterday for the new Opus, so looking forward for those. I need some fresh nippers.
We'll have to update the vid once you get those in.
But and then I've got another old faithful. This has been in my bag for about 4 years, this one. So this is the old Jaws MD5. Really like the raw finish. And I go slightly softer in my irons. I go a Project X 6.0. I was typically a Project X 6.5 through my irons, but I just go that little bit softer.
So we're talking shafts here?
Correct, yeah. That's Project X through there. And I'm a multi-compound operator, so I like the multi-compound just standard. Love
that. Let's go through irons. Speaking of those,
cool.
What are we running? You're a bit different to the regular man here, where you're a sponsored athlete, mate. So do you update fairly regularly, or are you sort of kept the same set in there for a bit?
I've got a few sets kind of on the go. Like I said, I do like to tinker.
Yeah, it must be nice.
But yeah, Callaway looks after me really well. I actually inherited this set from Zach Kelly, the Chocky Milkshake, down at Parks there. So he actually he had a set of Apex MB Raw just floating around, and I really like the raw finish. As you can see, I just don't like the glare. So as you'll notice in my wedges as well, actually, they've got the raw face. Because one thing that I hate is sitting the club down and all of a sudden you get a face full of sunlight and just blinds you. So having that raw finish on the iron really aesthetically pleases my eye. Again, tinkering. I've got in the shaft, I've got a Modus 115 X Flex.
Ooh.
So going a smidgen bit softer as what I'm used to, just to help me with a bit of a swing feel that I'm working on at the moment, getting the club a little bit more behind myself.
Yep.
Just helping with a bit of flight. And again, multi-compound golf pride. So I go the Apex MB pitching wedge up to 6 iron, and then I move into a new addition that I put in the bag yesterday.
Talk us through this, because these are a great looking club.
So these are the Callaway TCB Apex 24. Ooh. So this is actually a limited edition, one of 50 sets that made its way into Australia.
And
so
you
this
just happen to be the proud owner or what?
I did happen to snag a set. which was good. But this is what Xander Schauffele uses. So I did have a set of TCBs last year, and I just didn't like how they got through the turf. So I went back to a set of blades, but they've improved the turf interaction and how the sole actually gets through the turf.
Love that.
And the couple of hits that I had yesterday were really good. And again, these will actually turn into a raw face as well. So this is a raw finish.
So just over time, they'll eventually
Correct.
hit that raw finish.
Correct. So you can see that's a little
See a
bit
bit
different.
of glare we got there on camera. That's what we're trying to avoid with with the raw finish there.
But and then yeah, so that's my iron. So 4 and 5 iron in the TCB, and then I move into. I've got a 3 iron. So depending on where I play, I've got a 3 iron in the Apex Pro.
Now this thing's a work of art. I've seen you hit this, and it probably goes as far as my driver. But why do you change between sort of this 3 iron setup, and then I believe you've got a sort of 7 heaven?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
depending on where I'm playing, like when we played at Nudgee, I use this off a tee quite a bit because the fairways are firm and fast. Get it running. Don't really have to hit it into many greens down there. So this thing comes out hunting, like it absolutely hunts. Whereas my 7 wood goes straight to the moon, and it's the easiest thing to hit in the world, and it goes pretty well identical distance. So it really depends on where I'm playing
And what you're trying to accomplish
and what
with
I'm
your
trying
flight.
to do with it.
So when you say it's hunting, you've got a lower, straighter, arrow-like trajectory.
Correct.
Whereas the 7 wood, you're still getting that same distance. You might just want to take an aerial approach.
Correct, exactly right. So this is like I'd put the 7 wood in the bag if I was playing a course that I've got second shots into par 5s that need a little bit softer coming into the green. Whereas Nudgee's that little bit longer, I'm not kind of being able to reach most of them with a 3 or a 7 wood. It's more like a 5 wood potentially off some of the tees. So
Yeah, okay.
but here it's probably better suited to somewhere up here. It's that little bit softer. So
Now listen, this is what the boys want to hear. The boys are here. They want to drive the ball as hard and as far as you do. Can you tell us about the 2 top ends of the bag here?
So I've got-
you roll a 3.
I've got a 5 wood actually.
5.
So I do have a 3 wood as well, but this 5 wood, so it's a triple diamond paradigm. So this has been in the bag for the last 2 years. I run the Ventus 8X Blue in the shaft, and this thing again hunts. It's probably one of my favourite clubs to hit off the tee.
Why is that?
It just the way that it comes off the face. It goes really hard. I hit one down 4 last week with Nicky, and I had 30 metres into the green. So
Crikey, Moses.
yeah, it's just super easy. Again, the fairway woods, I go the 5 wood just for that little bit ease of launch. Like to keep it in that air a little bit more.
You're a fan of the Paradigm series? You're not
The
going to
Paradigm was really good. It was really good. I actually thought I was going to be in the Paradigm for a long time in driver. But yeah, moving into driver, I actually rolled the Paradigm AI Smoke.
This is what everyone wants to see here. We've got the
In the
big
triple
dog, the
diamond.
smoky. It's a little bit out of focus there, but you can see the beautiful little smoky finish on that one.
Yeah.
And this shaft's a work of art. This
Yeah,
shaft.
so
Talk to us about that for all the shaft nerds. out
So,
there.
talking with Crooksy from Callaway, we did a bit of testing probably 18 months ago because I was struggling a bit with shaft in my Paradigm, and what we found out is that I needed something a little bit softer in the tip just to help it stay in the air a little bit. So the Ventus Red TR, which I've got here, it's 60 gram X, so it's really quite stiff from the butt to the midsection, and then it's a little bit softer through the tip there. So for me,
That's what's going to help you get that launch.
it's going to help it stay in the air that little bit. Yeah, I love this thing. I don't think I'll be changing shaft anytime soon. Again, I did place an order yesterday for a new Elite driver, and I did put an order in for the Artera. So in speaking with Zach last night, actually, he's got the Artera, and it's probably one of the best shafts that he's used, and it's just a stock standard Artera. He's normally in his exotic kind of upcharge shafts and all that aftermarkets.
Yeah, but he likes the stock standard.
And he really rates this. Every time, even on a not so good swing, it's still coming out of the middle. So I think it's going to be
love that.
a great addition. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The golf ball that I use,
Just going to ask you about that. You read my mind.
yesterday I've been struggling with my putting. So I did actually reintroduce the triple track into my bag, but I used the Chrome Tour X. So for me,
Tour X.
it's a little higher flighting, a little higher spinning. So yeah, that's the golf ball that I use, and it's really good around the greens. again, been tinkering a bit, and this ball is just unparalleled in my opinion, around the greens for myself and overall game. So yeah, it's really, really quite good.
Loving that. Well, thanks for showing us what's in the bag. And if you want to show us what's in your bag, make sure you get in touch with us. If you want a lesson, come and see the best in the business, MD Performance Golf. Get in touch with Mitchy and he'll give you a close-up of his bag if you want. See you soon.
See you.